career so closely. In this last few months, you've had a few things happen, which is Ben Shapiro talked about going to one of your shows and complaining about you becoming woke, which sort of then created this.
He doesn't even know what that word means.
Let me sum
his definition of woke is white liberals' definition of woke, and they didn't even know what it was. They just took the word from black people. That's the worst thing about our people is not only do we take from other cultures, we don't even take the time to understand the definition.
Yeah.
He went there to be annoyed so he can then have something to talk about, and then he can make money off of dividing his own country.
Yeah.
Those people, it's treasonous what they do.
Yes, but to be fair, or not to be fair, to the fact is that it worked for what his goal is, which is then it became a thing online where then a certain portion of the right complained about how you're woke,
racists,
and more racist.
They're racist.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like his audience will be that audience, right? Then the other side, there's like a portion, there's portioned audience, right? I'm not gonna generalize Ben Shapiro's audience of being all thinking the same thing, right? There's some that are gonna actually think, actually have common sense, and then there's others that are always gonna be dick riding Ben Shapiro, and that's what Bill Burr's trying to say, right? Like regardless of like any sort of like explanation, they're not gonna care about it. They're always gonna just be on the other side of it or on the counter side of it.
Yeah, they send pictures of monkeys to me and my wife. They're fucking horrible people, and they're cowards, and they never say it to your face.
Yeah,
they never do that. And no, they're like,
Also to that, that's a very good reason. That's also a very good like take from Bill, right? Because why did Bill? I mean, why did Ben have to specifically talk about Bill's wife being black? Like, yeah, Bill's wife, she's black, and he's being controlled by her. Well, also you gotta understand, Bill, because you're not married with a black woman, right? You have to have have an understanding or cultural consideration of, yes, we're not living under the same standards. Like, we're all being treated the same way if you're black or you're white. That's not how life works in the US or any other country. Like, and maybe in a perfect utopia, yeah, but that's the thing that sort of separates Bill and Ben is who are they with? You think Bill is just gonna get with a black woman and what? What do you think? What do you think is gonna happen? Doesn't care about her feelings or her perspective in her life compared to you, Ben, who's a Jewish guy. And I'm sure if anything were to happen in some sort of racial thing with your shit, you're gonna have a huge blow up about it. But you have the freedom of talking about Bill Burr's wife, and Bill didn't even sink that low into talking about your wife, dude. Like, think about that too.
Look, dude, there's an ugliness that's out there right now where, there's certain podcasts out there that if you're a racist, if you're an anti-Semite, if you're a psycho-nationalist and you want a softball interview, there's podcasts out there where you can, and they will laugh at your fucking bad jokes and just give you this pass. And it's like, there's a really ugly thing that's going on out there. And, it's the kind of things we've already seen this, and we've seen what it does to a nation. And it's not the way to go.
And real quick here, I just love that Bill spoke about how these guys hijacked the word woke and gave it an entirely new and negative meaning. Because what Bill Burr said was true. Like, people throw it around as an insult nowadays, but it wasn't ever supposed to take on that meaning. Bill saying that also shows you how Shapiro obviously just panders to his crowd and their buzzword of the day, as Shapiro is just in it for money, which Bill wants zero part of. Later in this interview, Bill Burr details how silly it was of Ben to have him as his favorite comedian just because one of his jokes aligned with his worldview, just to then completely flip-flop on him as soon as he made fun of something against that view. It was very childlike, which Bill summarizes in a perfect way.
What I'm finding is that people keep trying to categorize what it is that you're doing. like that idiot Ben Shapiro. No, he's woke now. He's like, I don't. That fucking guy. Someone came to me and goes, "Hey man, you should." He was trying to bring me into his fold. At one point, the guy liked me.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I didn't, then all of a sudden I'm a fucking asshole. I mean, I'm supposed to look at that guy like he's an adult.
Bill's right. Ben Shapiro is a sellout. He's a chameleon of comfort, right? He'll place himself where the money is at, or where, like, the person that's funding him, like, wants him to be at. And then right now, Bill Burr, oh my God, he's a rebel. He hates the conservatives right now, right? You know, at the same time, beforehand, being like, you know, Ben Shapiro saying like, you know, he was defending him and saying that he was his favorite comedian. But now, when Bill Burr targets the people that like he aligns with, it's like, yeah, now all of a sudden now Bill Burr is woke because he's got a black wife, and that's why. Come on now.
And you see, Bill Burr wasn't just assuming here that Shapiro was a fan of his at one point in time, because as I mentioned at the start of this video, Shapiro actually defended Bill Burr for making jokes about Latinos at the 2021 Grammy Awards.
I will accept on behalf of her. If I butchered her name, I'm sorry. All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff?
Okay, and people on the woke left were like, it's true. Why is that white male doing all this Latino stuff? And then commenting on it. How dare he, laughing about butchering people's names? How dare he? Right, this is where the Puritanism comes out. Because our cultural Puritans can never allow Bill Burr to make a joke about his own inability to pronounce Latino names. You can Latinx names.
Okay,
right?
I'm pretty sure this is Ben trying to spin something into making it seem more crazy, because I'm pretty sure a lot of Latinos did not give a shit. I'm telling you, like, Latinos are not really easily offended by that. You know who are offended for other people or other races is white people being, ergo Ben Shapiro. And like, I don't know why he even brought up the Latinx shit. Nobody as a Latin person or a Latino ever says Latinx. And that's a very good giveaway. I'm giving you a good giveaway on why, Ben Shapiro's trying to draw up all this what do you call it? Like, backlash. He's trying to make this black backlash that only maybe like 20, 30, 40 people on Twitter or X, they talked about it. That's it. Worldwide, throughout the whole US, nobody gave a shit. But Ben has to make this sort of story about it, and also make, at the time, Bill Burr a hero. And oh my God, he's speaking, and he should be free and tell his jokes, and freedom of speech and blah blah blah. But then when it comes down to something that he is protective about, he's gonna go the opposite way and be like, oh my God, so many people and Bill Burr is wrong about this, right? Because when it spins around and it's his turn to get the target, or get Bill Burr talks shit about him, he's gonna start being such a Karen. Like I said, man, like, this is fucking so annoying.